Hey folks, just want to give you a quick demo of the AsyncAPI plugin that I've been working on with EventCatalog. Pretty happy with it so far, and I'll just quickly show you how it works. So as you can see here, I've got a new catalog, so you can use like npx create catalog to get this out of the box, and it will give you some stuff here, some events and services. I've removed them and I've added some AsyncAPI files. Okay, so I have a few here just for demo purposes. Add like order service, payment service, and if we click inside of them, we can actually see their version 3 of the spec, and we have channels and messages and all the great stuff. So to get started with the event catalog and AsyncAPI integrations, what you got to do is specify one of these things called generators. Okay, and this is just using a test package at the moment, but when it's live, this will change. But the whole idea here is you can specify domains and you can specify your AsyncAPI files. So an example here, if we look here, we can see this domain is the orders domain, and it has particular files associated to it. It has the order service and the order fulfillment service. Okay, and down here we have another domain, it's the payment domain, and we have the payment service and fraud detection service as examples. Okay, so you can have as many generators as you want. You can split these out. I've grouped them up, and the paths here can either take a single AsyncAPI file or multiple files there. So what happens now is we can run the generate command, and what this will do is it'll take your AsyncAPI files and then it will generate your catalog for you. Okay, so let me just show you an example. So if I run npm run generate, what this is doing now is going through each of the AsyncAPI files, and EventCatalog is smart enough to know, should it create a message, should it version a message, are domains already existed, can we skip that? And you'll see down here, you'll get a log of all the things that have happened. So we can see, okay, we're processing the orders domain, well, it already exists, we'll skip that, and then we create this message, and the schemas automatically get added to these messages in the catalog. The best way to show you is actually to run the thing. So let me run npm run dev. Now this will load up a catalog locally on your machine. You can obviously build this as a static output host anywhere you like. But let me just go to the browser and show you exactly what this looks like. As you can see here, the catalog has started on my machine. And down here, we've actually got all the messages, the orders, and the services documented for us. Everything you see here is generated from your AsyncAPI files, which I'm super excited by. So if we click on the domain, you can see here that the domain itself, remember we have the two AsyncAPI files, we can actually see them in the visualizer. We can see that it's receiving events and publishing events. We can move these around and we can navigate here. And we can also see it's got a fulfillment service. We can also see the fulfillment service accepts commands, and this inventory service also accepts some commands. Okay, we can click on the service itself and go in, and we can actually see the service and the visual. Everything here again is generated from the AsyncAPI file. And we can also download the schema. If we click this, it will download that AsyncAPI file directly to your computer. Now, why would you want to do this? Maybe other teams in your organization want to download that file and have a look. If we click into a message, we can see the message here, the message and where that's used in your architecture. And then down here, we can also see the schema of this message. Now, the schema, again, is from your AsyncAPI file, and this event catalog will pull this and read this, and it will visualize for you here automatically. You can download the schema. If I click this, it will download the JSON schema. Now these AsyncAPI files, the schemas are in JSON, but they could be Avro, they could be anything. As long as AsyncAPI supports it, EventCatalog should be able to read that information and put it inside of your catalog here. If we go to the visualizer, we can also visualize things. We can dive deeper into various things here. As you can see here, we're loading loads of events and services. Okay, and the Discover tab, if you're not familiar with this, it just lets us quickly search for, like, things if we're interested in particular messages or whatever else. So the next thing here is, okay, what's next? Now, what EventCatalog allows you to do is allows you to add Markdown to your pages. So let's have a look at Fraud Alert version 1.0.1. Let's go over to EventCatalog. We go inside the events and we look for Fraud Alert, which we can see here. Let's just close this for a minute. You can see here everything is fine, and that's great. Down here is the markdown that has been generated for you. Now, EventCatalog supports many different components, MDX components, custom components, or whatever it is you want. So we can put whatever we want in here, like hello world, this is a test, and we can literally put anything we want. We can link to Teams, link to Slack channels, link to emails, put owners on this thing, all sorts of things. So why I'm showing this is that the markdown will be persisted when we version our events and we version our AsyncAPI files. Now, why would we want to do that? Let's have a look. So let's get rid of this for a minute. So remember, Fraud Alert, we're on 1.0.1. If we go to the async API files and fraud detection service, we're on 101. Now let's say we make a change here and we want to bump this up to 110. And what we're going to do down here is actually add, I don't know, some created at a field when the fraud was created, a new property on our message on our event. We save that. And now what we're going to run is run that generate command again. Okay. And what's going to happen is if I stop this, npm run generate, EventCatalog is going to go through the files and it's going to do exactly the same. But this time, if you go down, we realize that the fraud alert service is now on 110 and it's versioned for us the previous version of that one. Okay. And it's the same with all of these. In fact, all your messages are the same version linked to that async API file. Okay. So now what happens if we do npm run dev? Again, we will load the project and let's go have a look and see what's happened. So as you can see here, we come back and the 101 has been loaded, but EventCatalog tells us that it's found a new version of the event. In fact, we're looking at an old version of the event. If we click on this version, this is our version of the event, and down here is our persisted markdown files. Now, why is this cool? It means you could have your distributed async API files around your company, around your teams, and let your event catalog actually hydrate based on all these different files. In fact, you can hydrate it further by using MDX, and this will persist across them. Okay. A few more things to add is change logs. So EventCatalog supports change logs, but one thing I'm going to add is automatic schema diff versions. So you can come in here and see that these schemas and these async API files and how they've changed over time automatically done for you. And that's kind of it really. So hoping to release this very, very soon. I thought I'd just give you a demo of how this thing works and hopefully how simple it is to get started. I'm super excited to launch this. And if you have any feedback, come check us on Discord or raise some GitHub issues. And thank you. If you're still there watching this, thank you for watching. And hopefully you'll see this released soon. Thank you.